Okay, let's dive right into this explainer and unpack a completely universal yet incredibly frustrating experience that keeps, well, pretty much all of us awake at night. You know the feeling. We've all been there. You're just staring at the ceiling when your mind decides, hey, it's the absolute perfect time to open up the vault of our most uncomfortable past experiences. But as we're going to see today, there's actually a deep hidden psychology behind this very specific type of midnight torture.
I mean, picture this. You're lying in bed, you're completely exhausted, and you are so ready to finally get some sleep. But then, suddenly, out of nowhere, your brain decides to just paralyze you with that one super cringe-inducing thing you said to a coworker literally 3 years ago, right? You feel that exact same wave of hot, cringing embarrassment rush over you all over again. And just like that, boom, you're wide awake, completely paralyzed by a memory that literally everyone else in the world has probably long forgotten.
Now, you might be thinking this midnight replay is just a glitch in your mind, but psychology suggests it actually isn't a malfunction at all. It's really this highly sophisticated internal mechanism that's designed to protect your ego and, believe it or not, ensure your social safety. Your brain isn't just trying to annoy you for fun. It's aggressively attempting to process information that it just hasn't found a clear solution for yet. It's essentially running this massive background diagnostic check on your social standing.
Section 1. The surface triggers. Silence and exhaustion. So think about your typical daytime environment for a second. Your mind stays incredibly busy with work, conversations, and just nonstop digital noise. All those distractions basically act like a heavy filter that keeps your deeper memories pushed way beneath the surface. But just look at what happens as external stimulation drops later in the evening. Your brain finally gets the quiet it needs to hear its own unprocessed thoughts. You see, you aren't necessarily thinking about these moments more at night. You're simply finally hearing the thoughts that you actually successfully ignored all day long.
And this brings us to cognitive overload. Late at night, your brain's ability to rationally manage stress just weakens significantly. Mental fatigue creates the state of cognitive overload, which actually reduces your brain's capacity to regulate emotions properly. So because of this sheer exhaustion, an embarrassing moment that seemed totally manageable or, maybe even a little funny during the day suddenly feels way bigger, scarier, and just overwhelmingly terrifying in the silence of the night. These tiny, small moments falsely mutate into major disasters in our heads.
Section 2. The search for control, analyzing and rehearsing.
Now, this active search for patterns and meaning is especially true for highly observant people, often known as deep feelers. Here's the thing, your brain absolutely hates uncertainty. It despises it. Deep feelers don't just remember a moment, they experience those emotions at a completely different depth. They replay these experiences on a loop because their minds are desperately searching for the why behind the moment. The brain naturally craves predictability. It keeps bringing the memory back to analyze the situation from literally every possible angle, just to ensure it understands the whole situation so you are never ever caught off guard again.
And this analysis quickly turns into action. By replaying the embarrassing situation, your mind is actually performing a mental rehearsal. It's this false attempt at control to feel prepared for the next time it might happen. Your brain genuinely believes, and this is wild, it believes that if it loops through these steps and analyzes the mistake enough times, it can somehow magically prevent future rejection, even if the original event has literally been over for years.
Section 3. The identity trap, weaponized failures. This is where it gets a bit heavy. Psychology shows that people who struggle with secret self-hatred handle their mistakes very differently. You don't just view the embarrassment as an isolated action or behavior, instead you attach the failure directly to your core identity. The internal monologue shifts from this temporary state of, oh, I made a mistake, to the permanent, damaging state of, I am a mistake. You basically begin treating the embarrassment as hard evidence of who you fundamentally are, rather than just something you did.
And why does this happen? Well, because your brain naturally rejects any information that doesn't match its established self-image, it compulsively replays the embarrassment. It actually uses that memory as a tool to continuously reinforce the negative pattern it falsely believes is true about you. It's actively and unfairly filtering out all your successes just to highlight your awkwardness, purely to prove its own negative bias correct.
Section 4. Survival and safety, the primal driver.
Humans are incredibly, deeply social beings by evolution. We're wired for it. And for some minds, the fear of rejection is vastly more powerful than the pain of loneliness. What this means is that our nervous systems actually treat social awkwardness not just as an annoyance to be brushed off, but as a literal threat to our physical survival. Think about it. To the primitive parts of your brain, being cast out of the group used to mean certain death.
And crazy enough, your modern nervous system still reacts with that exact same primal intensity.
So your brain is frantically scanning these old memories for patterns of disapproval. It obsesses over whether you sounded awkward because it is desperately trying to protect your social mask. It's actively guarding your place within your social group, viewing that past embarrassment as a flashing red warning signal for your current, everyday survival. It is quite literally working overtime to keep you safe in the pack.
Section 5. Reclaiming your peace. Stop the midnight loop.
Okay, so how do we fix this? Remembering embarrassing moments isn't a sign that you are flawed or broken. Actually, it's quite the opposite. It's a sign that your brain is highly sensitive to your environment and deeply invested in your social safety. Once you recognize these previously unseen patterns, you can completely reframe the entire cringe experience. It's simply your brain trying its very, very best to learn, to adapt, and to protect you from harm.
Once you start understanding these small things that shape people's lives, you begin noticing patterns that most people completely overlook. So I want to leave you with this thought. What if your most annoying memories are actually your greatest protectors? If you found this explainer on the hidden psychology of everyday behavior fascinating and you value this kind of direct, structured way of learning, I really invite you to subscribe and keep exploring with us.